Hello and welcome to my channel. Here I review new movies and television shows and release a new video every day from Monday to Friday. Today, I want to talk about The Whale. It's a drama about a reclusive, morbidly obese man trying to reconnect with his daughter. It's based on the play by Samuel D. Hunter and is directed by Darren Aronofsky. Just as a heads up, there will be minor spoilers ahead related to plot structure and character backgrounds. The Whale opens up with a scene of Charlie talking to his students. Charlie is a college educator who teaches a course on writing structure. We see from the opener that he's a shy person who teaches online classes with his camera off. Then we jump to a shot of Charlie, a morbidly obese man, jerking off to porn. The camera pans around him, showing off his apartment. There are books scattered about everywhere, a bottle of Diet Cola and a huge sippy cup beside him, and a walker in front of him. He looks like a slob in a pigsty. As he finishes, his chest starts to hurt and he struggles to breathe. He reaches out for his phone but ends up dropping it, and instead grabs a couple of sheets of paper and starts to read an essay about Moby Dick. Someone knocks at the door and he calls out for them to come inside. A young man is standing there and Charlie seems surprised. He begins to ask who the young man is, but the pain in his chest takes hold and he changes tune. He instead asks the young man to read the essay to him. Confused, the young man reluctantly reads the essay and Charlie starts to calm down. As an opener, it tells us everything we need to know about Charlie and his health, and sets the tone for the rest of the movie. From there, we learn about how Charlie came to be the way he is, how his friends and family react to his condition, and we see how the next week of his life plays out. The story is filled with interesting and complex themes and ideas, but it's kind of like watching a car accident play out in slow motion. It introduces you to the victim, his family, and friends, and really delves into the emotional hole in Charlie's soul. It does have moments of reprieve in the form of humor, mostly coming from Charlie himself, but they're brief, few, and don't quite counterbalance the overall tragic nature of the film. This is firmly set in the tragedy category. Charlie and his relationships are the big draw of the film. Charlie is a deeply flawed man who did some awful things in the past and lost someone important to him. He started eating in response to the loss, and the film ties in his eating disorder to the loss beautifully. He eats his feelings away, and the way his and Liz's actions contrast with the way their loved one died is hard to watch, but deeply moving. Brendan Fraser did a fantastic job in the role. He struggles to move around, he's constantly wheezing, and somehow he made himself sound like Jim Gaffigan. He embodies the character and puts on an emotional performance in which you pity and empathize with him, but also hate him for continuing down this path. It's a deeply engaging performance, and it's wonderful to see Fraser making a big comeback. As for Charlie's relationships, he has an amazing friendship with a woman called Liz, and together the two of them honor their lost loved one through an incredibly unhealthy dynamic. She takes care of him and helps him to continue eating. She feeds him, has to save him from choking, and then gives him the rest to continue munching on. It's fascinating to see how much she cares for him, and how much she hurts him by enabling him. He's no better. He hides things from her and knows how much his actions are hurting her and even apologizes for it constantly, but never once makes a real effort to stop. Liz is played by Hong Chow. She's reluctant in her enabling of Charlie's eating, protective of him, and a genuinely good person. Chow shows off just how much pain is involved with being friends with someone like Charlie, and her performance is heartbreaking. The way she tries to keep herself from crying or getting too upset with him is touching. Charlie also spends time with his daughter Ellie. He's been estranged from her and her mother for a long time now, and Ellie is in a bad place. When Charlie's health takes a turn for the worse, he contacts Ellie in order to spend time with her. Ellie is a troubled child to say the least. She hates the world and takes every opportunity she can to hurt people. Charlie sees the good in her and wants to bring that out. Throughout the film, he tries to get through to her with writing. He tries to encourage her to write, and he compliments her intelligence while they talk. Sadie Sink plays Ellie and acts like an angry, hurt teenager. She's emotional and manipulative, and the film doesn't show off her perspective, but views her through Charlie and Tommy. She gets the emotions right and matches Fraser's screen presence. She doesn't get to do much more than one or two sad monologues, but she hits every note while delivering them. Production-wise, the film is well produced. The entire movie takes place inside one apartment, and it's filled to the brim with books and food. We follow Charlie through his journey with smooth and clear camera work that focuses on capturing the emotions of the actors. There are lots of close-ups and interesting pans of the actors moving around the room as they talk with Charlie. It gets the story across in a clear and succinct way, but also has scenes that perfectly capture the magnitude of the situation. The long, slow shots of Charlie eating with a ravenous appetite are some of the most heartbreaking shots ever. We're watching a man eat himself to death, and it feels like a horror scene. Fraser has this determined look in his eyes that belies a serious depression, and he's so consumed with eating that he's not even chewing. Behind the visuals is a sad and emotional soundtrack made up of scored instrumentals that follow the scenery and draw out every last ounce of feeling from the subject matter. Violins, trumpets, and pianos accompany Charlie as he struggles to live his life. It incites a deep feeling of melancholy. Dark, tense tracks play as Charlie eats his way through an entire family's worth of food, and during lighthearted moments we get casual, uplifting, and breezy music. In terms of entertainment value, I found the film to have a lot of compelling scenery and great acting mixed with the well-produced product. It's worth watching for the deep thought and introspection it will likely invoke in you, but I also found the story quite sad and hard to get through. It's not exciting, not overly dramatic, and includes a number of story elements that seem somewhat unnecessary, like the pizza guy. It does try to tell a unique story and gives an interesting look into this guy's life, but I also don't think the film tried out anything experimental or new. This is another tragic story about a man walking slowly toward his own demise and showing off the way it hurts those around him. If you're in the mood for a thought-provoking film and don't mind being upset, give this a go. Otherwise, pass. 7 out of 10.